Hi, everyone. Today we're going to look at two new ideas, and it's going to give us two new vocabulary words. And so, those ideas that we're going to be looking at is something called a pure substance and something called a mixture. And so, these are two different types of matter, if you will. As always, if you need to get a hold of me, my email address is on the screen right now, rcrawford@jcpsmail.org. Let's go ahead and get started. So to begin with, let's go ahead and define what a pure substance and a mixture are and look at some examples that are side by side. I do want to point out that to really understand this, we have to look at models. We have to look at some pictures because I feel like it's going to be much easier to understand. So these pictures turn out to be really important. All right, so first off, a pure substance. So when we look at a pure substance, and this is a sample of a pure substance is any substance that is made of only one type of particle. So if we look at this sample of a pure substance, we see that we have a bunch of what I'm going to assume are atoms because I don't see anything bonded together. And so we can see that every atom is red. So if we look, it would be safe to assume that every one of these particles in this sample are all the same, right? Same color, same size, unbonded. So that's some type of atom. That's a pure substance made of only one type of particle. Now, if we compare that to a mixture, so if we look at a mixture, we can see immediately that we have, well, two different types of particles. And so here you can see that we have a bunch of unbonded atoms again, but at the same time, we have some bigger blue ones, and then we also have some of these smaller red ones. So that's two types of particles. So really, when we talk about a pure substance, anything that is pure means that it is not mixed together, right? It's not mixed with anything else. And you can see this is all one thing, made of only one type of particle. But when we go to a mixture, we can see that it is. It's two things mixed together. But the key is to look for two different kinds of particles. And if you see two different kinds of particles, then you have a mixture. Now, this is a really simplistic way to look at it, okay? Because I want you to notice that we don't have any atoms here that are bonded together, so we don't have any molecules. Let's take a look at another example, and we're going to make it slightly more complicated, but we're still going to be focused on pure substance versus mixture. All right, so here we have two more pictures. I have my pure substance to the left and I have my mixture to the right. Now I want you to notice immediately in both of these samples or in both of these pictures, I have atoms that are bonded together. In other words, I have a group of atoms bonded together. I have molecules. So here's a molecule, here's a molecule, molecule. So I have these molecules that have a big blue atom that is bonded with two of these smaller red atoms. So that's remember, if we look at this picture, even though we have two types of particles that make up each molecule, we don't do that because molecules are treated as one particle. So here we have one particle and here's another particle. So when we look at the sample like that, we can see that still, even though we have two different kinds of atoms present here, we have a pure substance because it's made of only one type of particle. And the key is molecules are treated as a single type of particle. Okay? So pure substance is made of only one type of particle. Let's look at a mixture that has molecules in it. So very clearly, here we have two different kinds of molecules. We can see that we have some of those red atoms that are bonded together into molecules, but then we also have that single large blue one bonded to two other red ones. So we have two types of molecules. In other words, we have two different types of particles. So very clearly, this is a mixture. Okay? So mixtures can be either atoms or molecules. Now, let's see if we can take a look and try to decide what types of things might be pure substance. Pure substance. Okay, so pure substance, key to keep in mind, and to every time you look at one, if you look at a model at one, I want you to think, is it have one type of particle? So if we look at these two examples of an element, right? Because elements, the smallest piece of an element is an atom. And so this is clearly an element because there's no molecules here, nothing's bonded together. So elements are one example of a pure substance made of one type of particle. If we look at compounds, so compounds are made of molecules, but we can see here that every molecule is the same, right? So this is pure. And we can see that they're all the same type, same color, put together in the same way. So all compounds are also pure substances. So our two types of pure substances are elements and compounds. So when you look at the pictures, you need to look and say, are all of these atoms exactly alike? Are they all the same? If I had one blue atom in here, this would no longer be an element. This would be a mixture, right? Or and same thing here. If I add just one more particle over here into this model, then that's going to turn that's a different kind. That's going to turn it into a mixture. But generally speaking, pure substances are elements and compounds. Now let's take a look at mixtures one last time. So a mixture, remember, is made of two different types of particles, and mixtures can look a lot of different ways. When you look in the world around you, mixtures are everywhere. Most of the things that we encounter daily, those things are mixtures. So let's look at this first picture here. So here I have some type of molecule, and then I have another type of molecule. So very clearly, that is a mixture, right? Two types of particles. Now over here, I have one type of molecule, and then I have an entirely different type of molecule, and then I even have some atoms that are in here. But no matter what, I just have to ask myself that question: are there two different kinds of particles? And clearly there are. In fact, in this picture, there's three different kinds of particles. Let's look down here at the atoms. Okay, so we have all atoms, but notice how some of them are red and some of them are blue. That means that we have different kinds of atoms. We don't have something that's pure. We have something that's mixed together. And so this also is an example of a mixture. So, when you look at mixtures, as long as you can separate out, do I have two different types of things? Then you're going to know. So it could be any combination of atoms or molecules, or you might even have both. And so one of the biggest ways that we're going to use this information is we're going to look at lots of samples of matter where we look at the particles, and we're going to have to identify, is that an element? Is it a compound? Or is it some type of mixture? All right, guys, that will do it for today. Hope you have a great day.